please, ladies and gents.
Right, if you all just move off the pavement, please.
Guys, can you go onto the pavement, please? Allow the traffic to move.
Just let people go about their business, please.
All move onto the pavement.
Stop blocking the highway, please. Let people
Can we move onto the pavement, please?
Sir, can you get through, okay?
Guys, excuse me, can we move out of the way? Thank you very much. So can you move onto the pavement for us, please? Allow the traffic to flow. Guys, move. Where is it?
Now wait for signs to mount. You get to put it to your eye. Put it right. That's it. Yeah.
Do it.
All posted.
Well, let's go with the road. Let's not let them the road up and look at it anymore. Come on, guys. People.
Are you a professional?
Taking a photograph of a police officer or a member of the security forces or armed forces. In fact, you can have your equipment seized, you can be looked through, you have to provide a good reason, a reasonable excuse of why you took the photograph. Now what this does, in effect, is it has an enormous effect on all sorts of people. It has effect on news gatherers, it has effect on NUJ snappers. So I'm an NUJ member. So as an NUJ member, I'm here to support my fellow trade unionists who actually are going to have their livelihoods curtailed and made more difficult by this law. Secondly, it means that when the police are in the wrong, when they do commit acts which are illegal, on demonstrations, when people are sort of wrongfully imprisoned, as being happened at Fairford or what have you. Actually, it means now that the documenting of this becomes more and more difficult. Thirdly, what it means, this is another law with which to criminalise people. If you're on a demonstration and you take a photograph of the police, you're suddenly arrested. You can be arrested for it. Now, this is nuts that it's just another law to criminalise people. And fourthly, and more importantly, the fact that we've got to this situation where we can be arrested for taking a photograph of a police officer in Britain is nuts. This is a massive infringement on our civil liberties. And actually, it's one of many. It's one of whether it's the right to demonstrate, whether it's about ID cards, whether it's about the RIP Act, whether it is about all of this stuff, or MPs trying to exempt themselves from expensive. What it is doing is actually making us more accountable, increasingly accountable to the state, without the state becoming more accountable to us, and using the excuse of terrorism to drive this through.
Now, the police say that this is here to protect them. What's your response to that?
They're supposed to be here to protect us and our rights. Human rights are the law. It's the law. Their job is to actually look after the law. So our human rights actually are things that they should be looking to protecting, rather than coming up with rather spurious laws that will actually just not only curtail liberties, but remain people's livelihoods and made increasingly more difficult.
More time, right? Yeah, sorry. The argument is that it's legitimate to lean on the rights of photographers if the lives of a police officer are saved.
I think that that's a false argument. I think it's an argument that might be put forward by people who are keen to curtail civil liberties. Actually, what you're suggesting there is that photographers, working photographers, actually are going to jeopardise police officers' lives, which is fairly absurd. Actually, what this is, then this is always an overreaction. We put it as if we're fighting terrorism. How are you fighting terrorism? Actually, people are more likely. If you look at the incidences of police mistreating demonstrators and being recorded and then being held to account, with this law that's more likely to be reversed. So what they're actually doing is bringing out, actually now it's got to the point where actually people are more likely to be injured because this law is being brought in by the police.
So what do you think it's all about? What's the motivation behind it?
I think this is another, I don't quite know why ACPO, I mean people have said that various police branches, the ACPO and FIT team have lobbied for this, I don't know. I think that this is another law, which is just one of a series of laws, which makes us more accountable to the state, when it should be the other way around. It's patently absurd that actually you folk, you're going to be affected by it. News gathering will be affected by it. Our democratic rights to know what's going on and to actually make decisions based upon news and information is severely curtailed. So I have no idea why they brought this law in, other than the fact that Jackie Smith is just a profoundly undemocratic, dictatorial, statist pig.
Nice one. Come on, cheers for that.
That's
So where
right.
have you come for, the ear or the finger? Old Hoban Glob. Perhaps we should give them the finger. Yay!
Ready?
Driving traffic. Cheers, like, okay.
My name's Jessica, I'm a press photographer from Press Campus.
Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm here with my colleagues, because already under the terrorism legislation, without this new law passed today, we're facing intimidation on the streets, stop and searches, and surveillance, and it's really limiting our ability to work.
Have you been stopped?
Yeah, I was stopped in December last year covering a traveller wedding in the London Docklands. The police said I could be doing hostile reconnaissance because I was in the vicinity of City Airport.
And what happened to you?
Well, they detained me for 45 minutes. I'd shown them my press card. They'd phoned it through, verified it. I was a bona fide journalist there covering the wedding. Yet they still said I could be doing hostile reconnaissance, seized my camera, said if I used any of the footage or any of the audio, that I could face severe penalties.
What was that like for you? Were they quite intimidating? Or
It was very intimidating. It was in the dark, an empty car park at that point, 3 police officers. They weren't being very friendly. No, so yeah, I did feel intimidated. So I think it was a necessary use of the law, really.
Lovely. So what's this really about, do you think?
I think the government are accumulating these powers and immunities. I don't know for what reason. I mean, clearly it's not about just photography, you know. The problem is with the law also is on a demonstration or protest, if a photographer is there and the police feel that you are inflaming a situation, they can tell you to leave. Now, that is a real problem with civil rights, and we will bring people's attention to this here today.
Yeah, but he's trying to tell me that I can be there.